This is one of the biggest challenges that we have.
How would you describe the reason why somebody can and should trust NordVPN?
We are developing 2 AI products. One thing to note that I always say, and I'm always mad when I see
What's next for Nord? Last month, I visited the Nord Security offices in Vilnius, Lithuania, and had the privilege of sitting down with their CTO, Marijus. We talked about a lot of different things, but most of it centered on their flagship product, NordVPN. The first question I wanted to ask had to do with all of the different marketing jargon that we see floating around the internet about VPNs. Their military-grade encryption, their no-log, all of these different things. But what is it that we as consumers should be most concerned about when we're not only using a VPN, but really any security product whatsoever?
In my opinion, honestly, it's all about trust. Can you trust your VPN provider or not? Besides that, I think it's about performance. You mentioned China, and I can imagine how difficult it was to be in there and to use VPN at all. So basically what the user nowadays wants is just slick performance. If you have the ability to be with a VPN 24/7, and you even know that it's on, that's a good sign that that's a good VPN, right?
Yeah.
So all those keywords, no logs, and etc. is just the third-party providers for the VPNs providers themselves telling that they are legitimate and they are trustful. So that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. So can you tell me if I was a rogue employee of my internet service provider, or let's just play for a moment, if I was a rogue employee of NordVPN and I was able to get backend access to the data streams that are coming in between, what would be the most that I could see? What can I see as a rogue employee?
So the first case with the ISP, right? So if you are within the ISP and you are a client of that ISP, you will not see anything more than just encrypted traffic of the VPN itself. Okay. With some kind of tools, or if you are just more tech savvy, you can maybe try to discover what kind of protocol is going there around, but besides that is basically it. With the rogue employee, within any IT company is a different story though. That's why all the IT companies have some kind of ZTNA solutions, like Zero Trust Access Network, or some kind of role-based access control that only part of the employees can do really significant changes in the production environment. Nord is not the different story as well. Like in any company, all our servers are configured with the infrastructure as a code. I don't know if you know the term, but basically, if you want to do some kind of a changes in the production, you have to push the code first on the GitLab or whatever Git you are using. The code has to be reviewed, and then it's pushed only to the servers. Sometimes, of course, you have to connect to the servers. This is an emergency case, but that's when we monitor our admins more than we monitor our users.
Okay.
So that's the big story. We have inner monitors tools about anything that's changing in the environment itself.
Okay.
So.
And so then that would, like, how many admins would you have on staff that can do that type of stuff?
So it's really a small team that has like the whole access to the servers, our SRE team of site infrastructure. Yeah. For example, not only from those persons as well have the access to all the servers as well. It's kind of role based, so they can connect to one type of server, but they cannot connect to another one. So all these security measures, it's kind of a normal thing in any IT company right now. So all these things, like a modern SRE thing that we are using.
Yeah, yeah. You mentioned different connection protocols. Yeah. And of course, you guys have OpenVPN, you have IPsec, and then NordLynx. Yeah. As a user, is there a specific reason I should be choosing one over the other protocol?
So historically, when you look at the VPN protocols and how they evolved, OpenVPN for a long time was a king because it was open source, easily accessed. For the tech-savvy users, it's just go, plug and play, one of these kind of protocols. Yeah. IKV2 IPsec was very well developed on the iOS and macOS platforms. They had the integration in there. And then Jason came and created Wireguard, and it was a whole different story when he proposed the solution. And the biggest thing that it changed, it was the performance. When you just compare all those three, the Wireguard was significantly better at the performance point of view, because it was integrated in the Linux kernel at the time, and it approached a little bit differently. From Wireguard, we created our own NordLynx because we addressed some kind of issues that the Wireguard protocol had at the time. So it's just, for now, for the end user, use VPN if you can.
Doesn't
whatever
matter what
protocol that you're
yeah.
using, if you want the best performance that you're gonna have with the Wireguard or NordLynx, that's for sure.
Yeah. If I read right, I think you had a pretty significant role in the development of NordLynx.
Yeah.
So what is it that's different between, obviously you've got the base of Wireguard, and then you guys have developed on top of that. You kind of alluded to some improvements. What would those be?
So at the time when we were testing the Wireguard, it was only at its first version. So it was not the best version at that time itself as a protocol, And I remember when I was just testing the protocol itself, I saw that basically at the 10K clients, it was crashing like crazy. We needed to solve the scalability issue somehow. So that's why we started to introduce the NordLynx and how to approach these things. And there was one privacy issue that we didn't like, really. So that's why we introduced the DMLDAT within the Wireguard itself, and that was the fork. So scalability and privacy was two issues that we were tackling.
Yeah. Okay. I completely agree with you that trust plays probably the most important role when you're dealing with any type of security company. And I know that a lot of people in the privacy world tend to promote generally smaller VPN companies that are open source. So with Nord, you guys are starting to, or you have stuff that's open source. What makes Nord better, in your opinion, than some of these other options?
So from the Nord's perspective and the feature what we are offering, the first thing that comes to mind, of course, the vast network that we can provide for you guys.
Yeah.
Vast, really good 10G network right now. We are always looking how to improve that. Besides that, the support that you can have 24/7. If you have any problem, come on guys, check it out, chat with our guys, and they're gonna help you as well. And of course, it's not about the VPN itself right now. More, you can see that industry is shifting a little bit more. VPNs try to provide not only with the VPNs, but some kind of a threat protection as well, like protection from malware, protection from phishing, scanning the dark web about your leaked credentials as well. So all these features I'm offering with NordVPN as well.
Yeah.
So in general, you just, better support, I guess, and more features that all the small things, all the small providers are providing right now.
Yeah. And you guys, your code base is open source, is that right?
Yeah, we started open sourcing endeavor, and it was really funny as well. Honestly, not all. We open sourced our main library that we are using in all our apps. It's called Reptalio.
Okay.
Well, for one of the employees' name. Yeah, it's a funny story as well, because we wanted to show the people and kind of to create a community around it and to have the ability to people to have an impact on it as well. And we open sourced our NordLynx application as well. So that was another endeavor that we had. Yeah.
Okay. How does Nord, or I guess any security company for that matter, balance the desire for privacy from the end users with the tendency for bad actors to use those same products, take advantage of and abuse these kind of services?
Honestly, this is one of the biggest challenges that we have within the company as well. We don't have a lot of people who abuses these services that we are offering, but there are some and always will be.
Yeah.
So any VPN provider or any IT cybersecurity company will try to tackle that from term of service perspective, and in any possible way we'll try to prevent it.
I think that there's a lot of people that may not realize that Nord has moved beyond just being a VPN company. As a matter of fact, on the outside of the building, it doesn't say NordVPN, it says Nord Security. Can you explain why it is that you moved just beyond VPNs, and then what it is that that Nord's offering now?
So when we started with NordVPN, our main goal was to create really easy usable apps for any kind of user, and with easy communication as well, that like even my mom could use it right now, right? So that's the goal. And my mom is the best QA tester ever that I have, especially with the new features that we are introducing. But and after a while, the ultimate goal came to our mind, It was like just to be the cybersecurity company in the world #1. We would try to achieve that, and we had to expand our basket of our products. That's a natural growth, right? So with NordVPN right now, as I mentioned, it's beyond VPN. We have a mesh net, we have a threat protection, and all those other features that's coming along with the product itself. We introduced NordPass and NordLocker as well. So Pass is for password manager, or even more like a secret manager as well.
Yeah.
A locker is like encrypted cloud storage that you can use wherever you go with yourself. And of course, we are expanding into B2B environment as well. This is where NordLynx comes into my mind, because we're really great at doing it B2C with NordVPN. This is a success story for us. We are trying to go into B2B as well.
Yeah. And you think that's becoming more and more important because of the fact that a lot of companies are having their people remote, and that's what makes it so important? Or what is it that's making a VPN really important for companies?
So there are basically two things that are really interesting that happening in the market, especially in the B2B environment. It's, as we talked a little bit before about the ZTNAs, like Zero Trust Network Access, and how our people are connecting and how they are interacting with the assets, information assets that they are having.
Yeah.
So that's our offering of NordLynx as well. And you need the protection wherever you're traveling or you're working in a hybrid environment or whatever it is. Yeah. So.
And I would assume that for the personal VPN, obviously no logs is incredibly important.
Yes.
But if I'm an IT person for a company, logs are actually incredibly important,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
And so it's like almost two different ways to approach the VPN.
Exactly. And that's why we have a different product. That's why we have a different teams on that. And that's why we have even different certifications. For example, if you want to go into B2B environment, you have to have at least ISO SOC 2 Type 2 and this kind of things, because the business is not going to work with you. So, yeah.
What's next for Nord? You mentioned a couple of features that are down the line, but are there new products beyond just Drive and Pass that you guys are considering that you're able and willing to share?
I can do a sneak peek a little bit.
Okay.
The MeshNet, the feature is gonna have a really significant boost with a new version of our library that is open source, by the way.
Okay.
You can check it out. The speed is gonna be like 5 to 6 times better there. It's really cool to see that the guys achieved that. We are starting a new initiative. It is called Nord Labs, and as we speak, we are developing 2 AI products that we're gonna announce it really soon. The website is like finalizing right now, finishing the last touches, and we're gonna, I hope, announce it the next week. We will see. Within the VPN itself, we are looking into some really interesting technical challenges. We are trying to use eBPF, IO ring, and XDP. This is really technical stuff, but from that we are always looking into improving the performance. And we have several POCs with post-quantum encryption as well. So we are slowly going to introduce it first into the Linux application, and then we're going to test it and see how it will go. And it's going to be in the future, that's for sure.
Okay, that's really cool to hear. I deal with a lot of cynics, a lot, like people that are in, let's say, the YouTube comments that no matter what I say, they're incredibly cynical. They're incredibly not trusting, right? Like they don't trust anybody. And the fact that I would even use NordVPN or any other, VPN that isn't, I don't know, a decentralized VPN or something that's not decentralized, I guess I should say. I can already hear the comments that are going to come on. So as best you can, how would you describe the reason why somebody can and should trust NordVPN over something else?
I think it's really important about the stance of the business itself as well, not only about the performance, but how many pen tests the company are doing, for example, how many audits the company is doing, is the business is legitimate itself, how they are making sure that they are investing into that as well. So for us, for example, that's why we hire third-party companies, I like the best ones in the world, to do this no-logs audit. We had already 3 of those, and we're gonna have this one this year as well. and we're gonna do it every year. Pen tests is constantly going not only within the company, but outside the company as well. We hire the best professionals to check our code, how we are developing, what we are doing with our infrastructure as well. And these reports are always, for the people to read through and see what is going on in there.
Yeah.
So this is really important. Not only that the provider itself is saying that, hey, I'm legitimate, but to have the credentials from the third parties as well. Yeah.
Yeah. And you guys are based here in Lithuania.
Yeah.
And obviously, as a company, you're subject to the laws and regulations of the country where you're based. How does that affect how you guys can operate as a security company? I don't know much about Lithuania.
Yeah. So that's why the offices is not only in Lithuania. We have the offices here in Berlin and Poland as well.
Okay.
But that's why the NordVPN brand itself is registered in Panama, as we mentioned before. So that's why the brand itself is there.
Interesting. Okay, so the company is registered in Panama, but you have all the offices, and then obviously we're here in Lithuania right now.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd read something on you having to do, like a quote having to do with blockchain, and so I wanted to kind of go down a quick rabbit hole. How do you see blockchain as practically useful, if at all, for cybersecurity? Is it? And
that's a really interesting question. Honestly, the blockchain right now, as I see it, as a distributed database, and it has its own use cases as well. I can see it. I don't think that we found the best solution how to use it yet, honestly.
Yeah.
I think it's yet to come. But if we're gonna compare with the traditional database and the complex blockchain database, usually I will use the traditional database like 90% of the time, that's for sure. But I think it's yet to discover. We're gonna see. We have a lot of fintech startups here in Lithuania as well. They're trying to explore this kind of environment, and some of them are succeeding. That's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Well, is there anything else? Like, I've kind of walked through my questions, but is there anything that is important to you or to Nord that you'd be interested to share with us at all?
For me personally, and from the Nord perspective as well, I would say that I'm really happy that the VPN industry as a whole is growing and had a significance in the past 10 years from the educational point of view.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't even imagine what a digital privacy and security is and what digital hygiene it is in general. I'm really happy to see that more people are using password managers nowadays.
Yeah.
They are thinking what kind of information is flowing around, and they are thinking what is the digital privacy for them. Yeah. So it's not only from the Nord's perspective, for the whole industry perspective. I think that it was a significant growth and like increase of awareness about that. I'm really happy to see.
Yeah. All right, last question. What would you say 5 or more, however you want to do it, what would you say are the primary tools that somebody that wants to be private, that wants to have better security, just the average person, right? So not somebody who's crazy, but just the average person like your mom or my mom, that are like the low-hanging fruit, the bare necessities of this is what you should use if you want to be private and secure online?
First, of course, comes to mind any kind of protection from phishing and malware that you can use a tool on your computer. The second,
that would be like what? Like what kind of things would be?
Like we have a trust protection for ourselves, like a feature, right? So any antivirus system is especially in you are in Windows environment, I think it's a must, right?
Yeah.
The second thing, passwords and managers, guys, come on, don't use the same passwords anywhere else. You don't even should know your password, what kind of password you are using, or any kind of thing. I think in the future we're gonna solve it with passwordless. This is a new tech that we are coming into, so maybe it's gonna be easier, right? But we scan the dark web and we see how many leaked credentials there are, like millions and millions of those. It's really sad to see. So just right now, use password manager and get used to it, and that's all. What else? Some kind of secure browser as well. That's for sure. One thing to note that I always say, and I'm always mad when I see when people don't update their software as well.
Yes.
The first thing in the morning that I do, I'm a Linux user, so I come to my computer terminal, and what I do, there are 2 commands to update everything if there are anything new, right?
Really?
So just update your software always and constantly every day as much as you can. Not only on your computer, phone as well. It's really, really, really important.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be more or less like 90%, 95% secure. The last thing I would say is awareness. Think before you click, what kind of information are you providing throughout the email or whatever it is, means of communication.
Yeah.
And just awareness and education is really important as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for your time. I'm grateful for just you being able to sit down and talk with you for a little bit.
Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for joining me and Marijus at the Nord Security offices in Vilnius, Lithuania. If you have any other questions, please leave them in the comments below, and I'll also have links to NordVPN and all the other resources that Marijus mentioned during our conversation. To watch more of my interviews with security professionals, you can find that here, or you can watch this video next. Take care.